Hey everybody, welcome to Scottsdale, Arizona. This is the Playoff Drive, brought to you by Byers Auto, our good friends, partnering with us this week as Ohio State gets ready out here in the desert for the Fiesta Bowl on Saturday night against Clemson, the college football playoff. Trying to find somewhere around the Camelback to get some lighting so we can talk to you guys. Berm had some travel difficulties getting out here.
The Valley of the Sun still gets dark, and so we're now indoors in a very secluded building here, but
trying to still bring you the update here as we get started with Lettermen Row, boots on the ground here in Arizona to get ready. I was able to get out there in time to see the Buckeyes get off the plane, a massive plane, and then massive DeJuan Jones is the first guy off as the Buckeyes get ready. They went straight from the plane to a bus to Notre Dame Prep to get ready, and if that doesn't tell you that the Buckeyes are all business, Berm, I don't know what does.
This is so much different than a normal bowl trip. I mean, like, think about the Rose Bowl a year ago and how much of it was just like entertainment and fun, and you go bowling and then you do
go to Disney World,
right, like this
ride rides.
This is about football, and this week it is a business trip for Ohio State. It's get here and get to work. The Buckeyes will practice, they'll walk through today, we'll practice tomorrow, I mean, this is a trip that is about beating Clemson and not really that old-timey bowl experience that people used to get. I mean, sure, they're going to still get, parting gifts or whatever, but the only thing the Buckeyes want to leave here with is a chance to go to the national championship.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch just the way that they've handled it because everyone talks about the activities that you get to do on the the
activities.
The Fiesta Bowl still they're doing a community service tomorrow. They're practicing in the morning. They're doing that in the afternoon. There's still go-kart things and stuff throughout the week that they get to do. But Ohio State does not appear to be that concerned about that. To your point, they wanted to go practice right away. They wanted to have as much of a normal Sunday as they could. Ryan Day had just given them 3 days off to go back and have their early holiday celebration with their family. So it's kind of been a mix between normal bowl season and then an off week sort of preparation bye date. And it's been an interesting one because this just isn't the way things normally line up. This isn't how bowl season normally works.
No, I mean, you get here on a Sunday, you play on a Saturday, you have to deal with all the extra crap about traveling across the country, guys flying in here from different parts of the country if they weren't in Columbus for the last 3 days, that they're flying here on their own and meeting on their own. I mean, I remember being here in 2016, there was like 10 guys who weren't on the plane, and media were like, why isn't this person here? Why isn't this person here? It's like, because they came from Miami. It's a different flight. But, it's one of these moments for Ohio State that is going to be not just a season definer, obviously, but this is a Ryan Day. I don't want to put too much on it and say it's a legacy definer, but like, you go out and win this game, and Ryan Day's career is pretty well moving in a direction that I think it's almost impossible to slow down at that point. You go out and lose this game, and all of a sudden you start to wonder, like, okay, we're still not at Clemson's level, and how do we get there?
Yeah, it's weird how these games for Ohio State become a season even as a one-game referendum based on if you beat Clemson or not. But that's the high standard that Ohio State sets for itself. That's the way
they wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, these guys want to be defined by that one game.
And beyond that, I think it's interesting. I've really just started wrapping my mind around it. J.K. Dobbins has not played in a college football playoff game. Chase Young has not played in a college football playoff game. Jeff Okudah has not played in a college football playoff game. These guys have already accomplished so much in their career as juniors and 3 straight Big Ten championships. That's normally enough. 3 wins in the game, 3 sets of gold pants, 3 Big Ten titles. You're talking about hallowed ground, but it's like, okay, now you're waiting for them to take that next step. And the stage for them, can they command it? Can Chase Young go have a signature performance against Clemson? I mean, this, as you said for Ryan Day, I think for these players who've done so much and putting trees in Buckeye Grove and all that, this for them is what they've been building for, and they haven't had this opportunity yet.
It's also a litmus test for Justin Fields to see really, the talk about Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence in the last few years has been nonstop because of their battles at the Elite 11 in 2018. But like, this is an opportunity to see, is he really developing at the rate that we think he is, because I got in a little trouble with this at Roosters last week, but I think Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the country, and I think that Justin Fields is going to have to outplay him on Saturday for the Buckeyes to win. And there's all these little subplots and these little storylines that can be explored all week long, but ultimately this is a program test for Ohio State. Clemson leapfrogged them in 2016 to be the team opposite Alabama. And now Ohio State has to leapfrog them and get it back. And that cannot happen with a loss.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking about Justin Fields and all these ramifications all week long, but it's the other thing you got to watch when we start to get an open practice or two early in the week. What does that knee look like? Does he get the full range of mobility back? Does he get rid of that bulky knee brace? He was supposed to be on track.
Or has he gotten used to it? I mean,
I don't think that he will, honestly, and I don't think that
I wouldn't.
I mean, it's physically, it's going to be a limitation. Anyone that puts that on, that's going to be the case. Mentally, I don't think that it just hasn't clicked. Maybe that's what your point there. Do you get used to it mentally and play through it? I think if you're talking about Justin Fields in Ohio State, I don't know if he gets 100% to where he was where you go into the season opener, but can he run? Can they do enough of the offense? That's what we'll be watching here in these first couple of days, because that's a huge deal. Ohio State, I think, can win if he's at the same level that he was against Wisconsin.
Sure.
But it's going to be much more difficult for them to do so.
Yeah, I mean, Clemson is going to come at him in a number of different ways that Ohio State hasn't seen this year, with different blitz packages and different fronts. I mean, they're going to mix it up between 3-4 and 4-3, which nobody really has been able to do all year against Ohio State and play both in the same game. Clemson has the personnel and the personality to do that with Brett Venables. And I just think it's one of these games that, as we said, like, there are so many little tests. And for Ohio State, for Clemson, I mean, I believe, and as I said last week, the winner of this game wins the national championship. I know LSU is the darling of everything and everyone right now, but I just don't think that they can beat Ohio State or Clemson in a 60-minute game. I know that they're talented. I know that Joe Burrow's playing great, but I just feel like I did in 2014 out of Ohio State, Alabama, you just kind of had a sense that game was the real championship game. And, you know, obviously Ohio State did the right thing and didn't overlook Oregon 2 weeks later. And I think that playing LSU means they couldn't possibly overlook them. But, you know, we have all week to talk about all these things, and we're going to be doing this like every day, right? So to me, it's today's day one of the test. I mean, this is Ryan Day's career. And how does he take the Buckeyes to the next step? Can he take them to the next step? Because for everything Urban Meyer did, the final step that Ohio State took with Urban Meyer was backwards. And that had to eat at Urban Meyer, and you know that step, that backward step, is why Ryan Day's here. Not, I mean, literally physically here, not Urban Meyer's retirement, but why Ryan Day was brought into Ohio State. And now we see if I just love it. I think it's an amazing sense of symmetry to have that matchup happen now.
It's so weird because you and I, we were out here for that last playoff game, the last matchup with Clemson. It's not like anybody thought that Ohio State offensively was perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And they went through a lot of ups and downs throughout that year, but it took something like 31-0 to bring Ryan Day, to bring Kevin Wilson in to help get this ship righted. And you and I have had this conversation a lot. It's not maybe fair to judge his entire career based on one game, but it's going to be unavoidable because everyone will look back to 2016 and the opponent is the same, the venue is the same. Well, what's the difference? Did Ryan Day actually get it fixed to push it over the top against Clemson? The teams are not the same, and that's not a fair comparison, but that's going to be the discussion no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, Urban Meyer's first year as a head coach was with Bowling Green, right? Like, it's a little different. Like, this is sort of an unfair litmus test, right? Like, because he shouldn't be in a position where his career or his reputation as an Ohio State coach is defined by what happens next Saturday. But, I mean, again, it's Ohio State. The expectations are super high. They're never going to shrink. They're never going to shrink away from those expectations. And so you may as well just go out and win the whole damn thing.
That sounds like a movie idea right there. All right, we're going to keep talking about that all week long, of course. This is going to be the playoff drive. Appreciate Buyers Auto for hanging with us and sponsoring as we make that postseason push ourselves with our coverage of Ohio State.
Tomorrow we'll have sunshine.
We're going to put a cactus behind there. Yeah. We're actually going to do our hair. We're not going to look like we just got off of an airplane and traveling across the country and dealing with delays and all that. So Berm will get some sleep.
Sure will.
Maybe we'll have some road beers throughout the week, but no matter what, we'll be talking about Ohio State, Clemson. Really can't wait for this week and everything that's ahead at LettermenRow.com. He's Berm. I'm Austin Ward. This has been the Playoff Drive, brought to you by Buyers Auto. We will see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to get the latest videos from Lettermen Row.
We got Letterman Live, we've got the practice report, we got rapid reaction. Hey, and you know we got Buck IQ with Zach Bourne.
For sure. We got recruiting breakdowns with Berm. We got whatever you need. Ohio State football and Ohio State athletics, we've got you covered here at Lettermen Row.